I am making 2 videos in the same day because I have to go into the office tomorrow. I'm not sure about how scheduling goes. This is all pointless, irrelevant data. Anyway, writing. Writing is hard. I've been writing consistently in my journal every day, which is good. But I decided recently I should try and write like writers do. I've never considered myself to be terrible at writing. I tend to have a good. I used to be the managing editor for my high school newspaper. It was a class. It wasn't an extracurricular, but I was good at it. I have a good sense for punctuation. The passive voice is something for which I have a good understanding. But I decided I was going to sit down, and I was like, I should try and actually write like a novel. Because, you know, all the YouTubers are writing books these days. They're writing mostly memoirs. But I'm only 26, unlike all of them, so I don't have as many life experiences to share with all of you. Snark, that's mean of me. No, actually, I've read both Shane Dawson and Grace Helbig's books, and they're not bad. I mean, they're short. They're very short, which I think, I don't know, maybe it's a decision to kind of match the particular audience, or maybe it is just that whole, like, we're kind of young to be writing memoirs, but, you know, they're fine, which is great, and they should be happy that they did that. That's a cool thing to have done. But so I don't want to do that. I want to sit down and, like, actually craft a story. So I sat down, I opened up my laptop, I opened up a distraction-free writing environment, and I was like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna write a novel. I'm gonna craft a tale, and it's gonna be interesting. And I typed out a few words, and I didn't like the order that those words were in, so I rearranged them. And then I didn't like some of those words, so I swapped them out with other words. And I looked and I was like, okay, I've got a paragraph. Maybe if I hit enter a couple of times, it'll look like I wrote more. And I didn't know what else to say. But it's a weird thing. I mean, I've written a lot. I've written a lot of essays for various courses. I've done a decent job with those. I used to write out scripts for every video that I did back when I was making high quality stuff. And it never quite felt this hard. And it's a weird sensation. So I've been doing a bunch of reading and listening to lectures and browsing around and be like, how do people start this? And, you know, how do they figuring out how people plan out and outline their stories and all of this sort of stuff. And I've read that there's a big distinction between kind of the 2 main classifications of writers, that there are gardeners and there are architects. The architects make a plan, and then you start building in the foundation and doing all the scaffolding until eventually they have this beautiful house. And the gardeners are just like, I'm just gonna put stuff in and see what grows, and then try and, you know, wrangle it around so that it looks like a garden, which is awesome. But the one thing that everybody, all of the advice seems to have in common is that your first book, or your first several books, or your first millions of thousands of words are going to be terrible. And this isn't new advice, this is advice that certainly I've heard and probably have given when it comes to making YouTube videos. And yes, they're going to be terrible at first. That's good. Embrace that and learn from it and enjoy the experience of making it. It's weird though with this whole idea of writing a novel, because I feel like if I ever get done with this, it's going to be like 6 months later. I'm going to be like, good, I have a piece of crap. Great, let's move on to the next thing. And the weird part is that now I have to consciously put effort into this thing, knowing ahead of time that it's going to be complete garbage. And I wish that there were, I mean, ideally, like, I'd be super into short stories or writing short fan fiction or that sort of thing, and I'd be like, okay, well, I'll just sort of hone my skills on those. But that's not the idea that I have in my head. The idea that I have in my head is a novel, and I want to write that. But I know that it's going to be bad. So that's where my head is at. I just want to say to all of you out there, whether you're booktubers, you don't read, you don't write, or whatever, like, if you did the NaNoWriMo stuff, that's freaking awesome. I am ridiculously impressed, because I'm just like sitting here trying to write, and it's not going well. But if you have any advice, I'd love to hear it. I'm probably going to reject it, because I reject most advice, but I like hearing it because it makes me think that the ideas that I've already decided on my own are either more valid or less valid based on people's advice. Yeah, and I'm just going to wrap this up. I apologize that today's a little more off the cuff than, which for this channel is saying a lot, but you know, time pressure, and I gotta sit down and write more, so I'm gonna go do that now. Bye.